it's me, and today I'm here with my June wrap-up. I'm so glad I did a bit more wrap-up because, damn, there's a lot of books. These are just the physical books. I read mostly galleys this month. And still, the stack of physical books are going up this high. It's insane. Okay, let's just begin with the stats. This month, I read 19 books. When did that happen? Of which I owned 9, and that amounted to a total of 7,498 pages read, which is the most amount of pages I've read in any month this year. Star ratings, they're all over the board. I have 1 1-star, 3 2-stars, 6 3-stars, 4 4-stars, and 5 5-stars, which is insane. I haven't had this many 5-stars in a month in a while, so that's great. I read 15 books by female authors and 4 books by male authors. I read 16 YA books and 3 adult books, 8 fantasies, 7 contemporaries, 2 mysteries, 1 classic, and 1 horror. And then for like the TBR challenges, which granted that I normally do that first, but I have 3 books out of my comfort zone, 3 sequels, 2 new books, and 1 TBR bet. I don't think rereads are included in the set, but I don't remember that exactly, so I'm sorry I haven't got that one. Let's just quickly go over the books that were my mid-month wrap-up. I'll leave a link to that video down below, so if you want to know more of my in-depth thoughts about those books, you'll have that video. First book I read this month was a reread, and that was Library of Souls by Ransom, which I give 2 out of 5 stars. I read Them All by Megan McCafferty, which I got as a galley from That Galley, and I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Spiritbound by Rochelle Mead, and I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I also have a series discussion up for this series. Then I read The Sullivan Sisters by Catherine Ormsby, which I gave 2 out of 5 stars. And it's another galley I got from That Galley. Then I have Last Sacrifice by Rochelle Mead, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. And again, series discussion on my channel. Then I read I Killed Zoe Spanos by Kit Frick, which I gave 2 out of 5 stars. And another galley from That Galley. Then I reread A Map of Days, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. This is America by Kim Johnson, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Again, galley from That Galley. And Being Toffee by Sarah Clausen, which I gave 2 out of 5 stars. And it's another galley from That Galley. Those were all the books for my mid-month wrap-up. Let's go over the books I haven't talked about yet. First book I read since that mid-month wrap-up is The Conference of Birds by Ransom, which is the 5th book in Lee Miss Bergman's Home for Popular Children series, and I'm giving this 5 out of 5 stars. This series follows Jacob, who all his life his grandfather has been telling him these stories from during the war, and like this orphanage full of children with peculiar powers, and Jacob, as he grew older, started to believe these stories less and less, and just thought these were stories that his grandfather made up to like be able to cope with the traumas of, you know, living through a world war. But then one day his grandfather dies, and Jacob sees these monsters and is convinced that these monsters killed his grandfather, but the official ruling is that his grandfather was just killed by wild dogs. And while cleaning up his grandfather's stuff, Jacob finds clues to this orphanage and people that could tell him more about his grandfather. So he convinces his father to go to this little island in Wales to, you know, find out more about his grandfather's history and just reconcile with his death. And what he finds there is that these stories were actually all real, and Jacob has a peculiar power of his own. Yeah, this is book 5. We're in America now. The new trilogy takes place in America. The original trilogy takes place in Europe, mostly England. And I really love this book. I thought this was a great progression into the series. It is a bit more of like a bridge book, kind of, where we're just finding out about a lot of things and we're doing some more world building and character building. But like, it's not like a whole lot happens in this book, but I still had such a great time reading it, and I was so entertained by it, and I loved learning more about this world and these characters because I love it so much, and I just love the direction this took the whole story in. Then the next book I read is Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall, which I give 2 out of 5 stars to, and is a galley got from That Galley. This book is about a boy whose father is like this famous rock star, and his father has like this problem with drug use and shit like that, and now a lot of rumors about him, like the main character, are going around that he's going down the same path as his father once was, which isn't the case, but it is the story that's going around the medias. And he is working for a charity and they're doing a fundraiser, but a lot of like their big donators are pulling back because of the reputation that's following the face of this fundraiser, basically. So he is told by his boss to get in a relationship with someone more favorable, and he ends up making a relationship with his friend's friend, basically, who initially he doesn't like. So yeah, that's a bad synopsis, but it's just a fake relationship, hate to love kind of. Yeah, that's all you gotta know. For a big chunk of this book, I was thinking it would be a 4-star, because even though I had problems with it, I really liked it still. I was flying through it and I thought the relationship was cute, and yeah, but then the ending happened and it was just a shit fire, because the ending just didn't make sense. It was based on a conflict that didn't make sense at all, and didn't need to be in there at all. But the rest, I still really enjoyed it. I thought it was cute and I just had a great time reading it. But the problems I had with it was that the friend group of our main character only comes in when it's like when it benefits the plot, not really, you know, as friends would. Then the next book I read is On the Come Up by Angie Thomas, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. This book follows Rory, whose father was in like their town is like a legendary rapper, but he died when she was very young, and in the beginning of the book her mother loses her job, so that puts more pressure on Rory to kind of make it as a rapper, make money to save their family, which is just a pressure she puts on herself, don't worry. And yeah, she is trying to start a rap career. I really love this book. I think I might like it more than the HG Gift. I don't know, I have to reread that one to actually fully assess it, but I really love this one, and I don't know why I haven't put off reading it for so long, because it's so good. I really liked Brie. I thought she was an amazing main character. I really liked the family dynamics, and I liked her friends as well. I feel like every character that was in this book was a full character. And I had been reading a lot of mainly galleys that didn't really have a full-fledged like character cast, only like the main characters being developed, and I was just getting so sick and tired of that. Just to read this book was just so refreshing, because everyone just felt like a real person and a real character, and just so well rounded and well developed. I really like the story of it as well. Mainly the storyline is driven by Bree's motivations and dreams, and I really like that. As I said, I really love Bree as a character. I really liked that whenever she got into like the groove of like making up lyrics and stuff like that, the writing also just like changed to a more lyrical writing style to show her thought process being different. I don't know if that makes sense, but if you've read the book, I hope it does. And I just thought that was done so brilliantly. The next book I finished was another reread, and that's Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi and Adeyemi. As you know, I've been rereading books by reading like 100 pages for every book that I finished. So I reread this. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. And this series takes place in a world where the magic has disappeared, and the people who have magic or had magic are hunted down and, you know, not treated well. In the beginning of the novel, we find out that these artifacts have been recovered that bring back a little bit of the magic, and we follow 3 characters. We follow Zelly, I don't know how to pronounce her name, I'm so sorry, but she is one of like the magic rulers, except she doesn't have magic anymore, but like she was supposed to have magic if the magic wasn't ruled out of the world. Then we follow Amari, who is the princess and has stolen one of these artifacts from the castle and brings it and accidentally comes up with Zelly, and they both go on a quest together with Zelly's brother to recover the magic. And then the third character we follow is Inan, who is the prince and who is going after Zelly, Amari, and Zelly's brother to stop the magic from coming back. Originally when I read this I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, but I just bumped it down to 3 stars because I just felt like the overall story was just very generic. Like, the magic system is so different from anything I've read before because it is inspired by Nigerian mythology, so that makes sense, and it feels so, and generally just feels very different. I really like the magic system, and also just like the world is also very interesting, but just the storyline feels so generic fantasy that I just bored me a little bit. Not a whole lot happened in this book either. It's just a whole lot of them like traveling and then coming upon a place and then a little bit happening and then traveling further and just constantly like that, and I didn't really like it. I reread this because I got the second book and I wanted to read it. I feel weird discussing this now because I read the second book and I know more stuff and I'm like, none of this is correct anymore. But I had high hopes after this book because, like I said, I do think the magic system in the world is very interesting and I felt like it could have done a lot of interesting things. Then the next book I read is The Love Square by Laura Jane Williams, which I give 2 to 5 stars, and it's another gal I got from my galley. Hi, it's Adeyemi, so you know I screwed up on the synopsis again. So basically, this book is about a main character who, these past couple of years, she hasn't had any luck with love, and then all of a sudden, she finds 3 love interests, and there is also a storyline where she has to take over her uncle's restaurant because the uncle is having a health crisis and can't keep up with it anymore, and the uncle has been pressuring her for years to take over this restaurant, but she didn't want to because she has her own business which she likes way more, but now she has to. And romance, 3 of them. I didn't like this at all. Mainly because I didn't like any of the love interests. Well, I liked one, but I feel like that one was very obvious from the start that it was not going to be a serious relationship, which you'll get if you read the book. You'll immediately know who it is. And then another character, I also didn't feel like that relationship was too serious, but then when it came to like the conflict of like, what are you gonna choose? Like that character was just like, pick me! We are gonna have the best relationship ever. I thought we were close to marriage already. I was like, no. It was just, that was really weird and it just didn't make sense to me at all. So I didn't like that love interest after that either. And then the original love interest who comes back as well, I just thought towards the ending was just like a dick, so I didn't like him either. So yay. And I feel like if this book revolves around like this big love square, not liking any of the love interests, it's just kind of sucky. This is another book where the side characters just felt like they were doing service to the plot. Like I said before, I'm not a fan of that. And moving on to Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi. I'm not gonna explain the plot. It's the second book in the Legacy of Orisha series, which starts with Children 1 and 1. I already told you what it's about. I didn't like this book at all. Oh god, I feel like Zelly went back in development. Like, she started off the book the way she started off book 1 and then continued that way throughout the entire book, and I hated it. Then Amari was way throughout most of this book until the ending, where she made a decision that was so out of character, and I feel like it wasn't explained well enough why she would make that decision, rather than just like corruption. I don't know. It didn't make sense to me at all. It felt so out of character, and I hated it. And then just the storyline was also boring. So boring. The only good thing I feel like it did in the series for the book was that it developed more on the magic system, and the magic system is so interesting, and this world is so interesting, but the plot is always so generic fantasy. And then I started to hate all of the characters in this book, which isn't a great time. I'm just like, why am I still reading this? But also at the same time, I'm still gonna read the 3rd book because I want this to be good so bad because I can see the potential, but it's just not delivering for me. Then the next book I read is Accidental by Alex Richards, which I gave 1 out of 5 stars to. It's another guy I got from my galley. This book is about a girl whose mom died and she tanks in a car accident, and she lives with her grandparents because she has no contact with her father. Doesn't really know. Yes, because her mother died when she was very young. And then at the beginning of the book, her father wants to come back in contact with her, and she finds out that actually the way that her mother died was that there was a gun laying around the house, and she, as a toddler, came across it and accidentally shot it right, like, aimed at her mother accidentally. I have to preface that. And it's about her kind of coping with knowing about this, and also just getting a new relationship with her father. And the reason why she hasn't been in contact with her father before, because her father actually went to prison for that because it was his gun. I hated this book. As you can tell, 1 star. I had to. Normally 1 stars are books I hate with my absolute gut, which has only been 1 book before. And this definitely didn't reach that hatred level. Or there are books that I just glossed over, that I just read all. And I had to make myself do that for this book, the second half, to like not completely, like I still know what happens, but which I don't normally have with those books that don't register at all. But I just had to, I just kind of had to pull myself out of the story constantly, because I was getting so mad about everything that was happening that it just wasn't healthy for me anymore. Or like not like mentally healthy, because I was just in such an angry state. I was like, that's not what we're gonna do. I just thought that the storyline was very repetitive. Like the main character's mindset comes back to the same point every 5 pages. It's so annoying, and I feel like by the ending she still hasn't learned at all. Like development wise, she's still stuck at the same point for that. Another thing I really hated is that she's constantly pushing her grandparents away, just being furious at them every time they talk to her, and then they just give up, because like what can you do about a teen who's going through an identity crisis and is constantly pushing you away? Like you have to give them space, you know? And then she gets so angry at her grandparents for like not interacting with her anymore, and just like, bitch, what do you want? And then she's also just constantly convinced that her friends hate her, so she's constantly telling her friends like, you can have it out now, I know you hate me. And her friends are constantly like, no, we support you no matter what, we know it was an accident and you couldn't control it because you were 2.5 years old. Like, we support you, we love you, we don't give a shit, basically. They're constantly saying that, and she's still constantly like, oh my god, they hate me, they think I'm a monster. I'm like, shut up! And then there's the second half. Some side characters that were introduced in the first half got more important to the story, and just that whole character was just flipped so much to just make sense to the plot. I'm just like, you didn't have to introduce them into the first half if the way you were going to introduce them is not going to make sense with the way you're going to include them into the story. And I didn't like that, and it dragged on for way too long. Way too long. It could have been wrapped up a couple of chapter release. Oh my god. Let's move on. Then the next book I read was Animal Farm by George Orwell. I was getting in a bit of a reading slump and I wanted to read something short. So what do? I read a classic. I've really been in the mood to read it. This also technically is a reread, but I don't really count it as a read because I don't remember anything from the first time I read this. Because when I read this, I had no clue about historical context. It just went completely over my head. And there were still some aspects I kind of wish, so I still love it. Did I tell you I gave this 5 out of 5 stars? I don't think so. I've just been really meaning to reread this book ever since I learned more about the historical context around all of this, because it is a satire on the Western Revolution in specific, but revolutions in general. It's more of a commentary, but it's officially classified as like a satire, but I don't really think it's funny, which I feel like a satire is funny. So I reread it and I really liked it. I feel like I definitely connected with it more, and I just had so much fun. It sounds very geeky, but so much fun just pulling things apart, and just like, especially because propaganda, some of them was interesting shit to me. If you don't know, I love history. History is like the thing I love most in the world, learning about. And then also throughout high school I had an economics major. So I think there's always been very interesting to me, which is like a collapse of two worlds, is marketing, and propaganda is just an extreme form of marketing. And that's one thing I picked up on a lot in this book, is the way propaganda and manipulation plays a big part into a world like this. And I thought that was so fucking interesting. I thought this was so fucking interesting. Go read it if you haven't already. It is very easy to read. It's a simple story. Very simple. But it is so effective in what it's trying to do. Then, for the last 2 books of the month, I have Cinderella is Dead by Kalynn Bayron, which I give 2 out of 5 stars to. This is a galley girl from my galley. This takes place in a world where the Cinderella story that we all know is real. And now, every year a ball gets thrown where every girl that's 16 plus has to go, and you know, they have to be chosen by a suitor. If they win 3 balls don't get picked, they are, I don't know what, they're forfeit, I believe that's officially what it's called. We follow our main character who turns 6 in the beginning of the novel. She's 16 and she has to go to her first ball, and she really doesn't want to because she's in love with her friend who is a girl, and that's not accepted in this world. So at the ball she ends up running away, and she comes across this girl who is a descendant from one of the stepsisters of Cinderella, and then she learns that a lot of the things she's been told all her life were lies, and she and the descendant from the stepsister are trying to find out more and trying to find a way to destroy the Gale and put everything to pieces again. That was a shit explanation, but I don't know how else to explain it. I really enjoyed this book. I think it is a very dark retelling of a fairy tale. I think what it does with the original fairy tale is very interesting, and it literally turns it on its head, and it's so interesting what it does with the original fairy tales. So if you love fairy tale retellings but you feel like they're all a little bit too cliche, check this one out. But it is also pretty dark because this world is it's pretty dark, this world. For the rest, I just thought the romance was underdeveloped. I feel like it could have been like so cute, but wasn't developed at all, so that was kind of annoying. And then I just feel like the largest part of the book was just very slow, and then the ending was just like, and it just was a little bit much to wrap my head around. Then a lot of the world building was very info-dumpy, and it was just like, here's everything you need to know, and it just dragged down the story a little bit for me. Then the last book I read this month is Burn Our Bodies Down by Rory, which I give 4 out of 5 stars to, and there's another guy I got from that guy, and I was like so excited when I was accepted for this, because I was so excited to read this book. It's about a girl who all her life has kind of just lived with her mom, and just her mom, and her mom hasn't really been telling her a lot about like her family, but she's been very interested in it, so she's been researching on her own. And one day she finds a postcard with a telephone number and an address, and it brings her to her grandmother. And so she goes there. It lists down very much history repeating itself, and very slowly our main character is finding out why her mother went away from this town and doesn't want anything to do with it anymore. I tried the entire time I was reading this book, it's like, depending on the ending, this could be a 5-star or a 4-star. As soon as a 4-star, you can tell what happened in the ending. I didn't really like the ending that much. I felt like a lot of things that happened in the ending was just very confusing, and just the probability of everything was just kind of like hard to wrap my head around. But for the rest of the story, it was very engaging. I really liked our main character. I really liked the side characters as well. I feel like they jumped off the page and they're very unique. It's filled of unlikable characters, but it worked. I liked learning piece by piece what was going on, and it was a bit confusing at times, but it was nice to just see the puzzle pieces fall together. I really loved the writing style a lot. The flow of it just worked very well, and I'm really excited to check out more by Rory. That's it for this wrap up. If you read any of these books, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of them, as well as what are some of the books you read in June, and I guess I'll see you guys next time.
Here I am again, the same old situation. Why does the God thing have to be so complicated?